We just recently learned how to determine the number of sig figs in a number, and now we are going to learn how to add and subtract using sig figs. So the first thing you do is just line up your numbers by the decimal point and add and subtract them. And the easiest way to explain this is actually to just go ahead and demonstrate. So we will take 5.21 and we're going to add 3.266, just like that. And go ahead and add up your numbers, and we get 8.476. Now, to determine how many significant figures are going to be in our answer, we need to find the number with the fewest numbers after the decimal point. And this one right here, 5.21, only has 2 numbers after the decimal point, so that means our answer can only have 2 numbers after the decimal point. Now I found the easiest way is just to go ahead and take a line and draw it down after those first 2 numbers after the decimal point. And then from there you need to decide, based on the neighboring number over here, if you're going to leave it at 0.47 or round it up. And because this number is a 6, we would then need to round the number up to 8.48. And that would be the correct answer. Now subtracting is pretty much the same thing. You just go ahead and take your number and line it up at the decimal point and subtract, and we get 6.21. And again, just like in adding, you go ahead and take a look and see which number has the fewest numbers past the decimal point. And that would be right here, 3.6, only has 1 number past the decimal point. So if we draw our line down, we know this answer is only going to have 1 number past the decimal. Look at the neighboring number, it's a 1, so we do not need to round up. We can just go ahead and leave it as, and that's a decimal, as 6.2. Here's another number. We have 1,960. And then we have 5.5, and we can add it up. Now we could assume that there's our decimal point right there, and this actually does not have any number past the decimal point, so we would actually just stop right there. And so our answer, if we, I guess we can go ahead and add it up. We have 1,965.5, and our answer is only going to be rounded off to the nearest ones place. However, because there's a 5 after it, we would need to round up, and so our final answer would be 1,966. Now, if we're using scientific notation, you can pretty much do the same thing. Right now, the easiest thing to do is just go ahead and focus on that first half of the scientific notation. So we'll take 2.113 and add 9.2 and just add those up. And we get 11.313. And then the next thing we need to do is take a look and see which number has the fewest numbers past the decimal, and that would be 9.2. So we draw our line down, and so here we have 11.3, and you look at the neighboring number is a 1, so we would actually just leave it as 11.3. And since both of these up here have a times 10 to the 4th, the answer would be times 10 to the power of 4. So we wouldn't change that. And we do need to actually make sure we write this in correct scientific notation. So we do need to move that decimal point over 1 so that we have 1.13, and times 10, because we moved it to the left once, it would be to the power of 5. So that was a quick overview on how to add and subtract using sig figs.